This is Rex McGregor's play, Margaret Thatcher Changes the World.
Glory days, Mr. Mills.
Kingston 66. Gold in discus, silver in shotwood.
Quite. I have no wish to undervalue your personal triumphs, but when I said glory days, I was talking about the Commonwealth.
Ah, welcome to Auckland, Mrs. Thatcher.
How do you do?
I would have been here to greet you earlier, but your chappies wouldn't let me in.
They had to do a thorough check of these rooms, sweep them for bugs.
This is New Zealand. We don't have bugs here.
I experienced your paranoid biosecurity systems the moment I arrived in my private jet. I am not accustomed to being sprayed.
If you let me explain.
When I said bugs, I meant surveillance devices.
So did I. We don't go in for that sort of thing.
How charmingly primitive. A genuine South Seas paradise, complete with heat.
Feel free to take off your gloves.
That's a native custom. What next? You're going to poke out your tongue and wave a spear?
Well, if this was an official visit...
I am here incognito, Mr. Mills, on a top-secret mission. Has that not been made perfectly clear?
Sure, but I can't for the life of me think why you fly all this way. Everything's hunky-dory. Who put that up?
I did. A stark reminder of history galvanizes the mind.
If you're worried about the rebel cricketers, all been sorted. The Games Federation issued a strong statement condemning sporting contacts with South Africa. You're off the hook. Everyone's happy, even the Nigerians.
Bully for them.
We practically got a full house.
Practically.
Well, Barbuda and Antigua can't come. They had a hurricane.
Barbuda and Antigua are only one country.
I know.
The name makes it sound as if there are two no-shows. Extremely inconsiderate.
Could be worse. The nation consists of a number of islands.
Don't give them any ideas.
There is a positive side to their absence.
I fail to see it.
Reminds us that there are more important things in the world than sport.
Good publicity.
Empathy. With people in distress.
Nice spin, Mr. Mills. You're wasted as Games Village Mayor.
Oh?
You deserve a real political office.
Actually, Auckland's current mayor recently got elected Governor General. They'll be looking for a replacement.
Perfect.
The city recently amalgamated several councils. A political novice with no divisive baggage may stand a chance.
Someone popular. Someone who has been the public face of an enormously successful international event.
Ah, so you admit the games will be a hit. So why hide? The opening ceremony's tomorrow. Let's put you in a place of honour. Right next to Prince Edward.
And risk being booed. I wasn't even invited the last time. Edinburgh, my own country. For some unfathomable reason, I am no longer particularly well loved.
It's not true.
My Prime Ministership is almost over. I accept that. I have never craved fleeting adulation. All I care about is my legacy. I want to go out with a bang. A magnificent, glorious bang!
Well, we'll deliver that for you. The best games ever.
With Nigeria and India, etc., etc. Been done before, many times.
If you want newbies, we've got Brunei and Nauru, the Seychelles, plus the British Virgin Islands.
I am after far bigger fish, Mr. Mills. Far, far bigger.
You haven't heard the end of this. I intend on making an official complaint.
Excuse me.
Such treatment is completely unacceptable. Calm down, John. I am shocked at this. This is a 5-star hotel. I don't expect to be a victim of racial profiling. What's happened? Those bouncers out there subjected me to a demeaning pat down. Is that all? You find it amusing? This has the makings of an international incident.
It's a standard procedure, Tommy. Arms frisk too.
Oh, that's okay.
Mrs. Thatcher, may I introduce Thomas Sitterly, President of the Zimbabwe Olympic Committee.
How do you do?
Delighted to make your acquaintance, Mom. I wasn't aware you were joining us, or even that you were in this hemisphere.
I'm flying under the radar, as it were. I trust I can rely on your discretion.
Absolutely.
Tommy's a decent bloke.
To what do I owe this honor, Mom?
I asked Mr. Mills to invite a representative of our member states in Africa. Can you speak for them?
As much as anyone can.
That sounds wishy-washy.
Tommy has impeccable credentials and huge experience.
I have been the voice for African sport for many years.
How many? More than 4?
Considerably.
So, were you the one responsible for the mass boycott?
With respect, Mom, that responsibility lies with you, Tommy. Every other Commonwealth country stood up against apartheid.
The UK does not take marching orders from its colonies.
Former colonies. The British Empire faded away some time ago.
More's the pity.
Let's focus on the present. The Swaziland team finally arrived a few hours ago. All our African friends are here, thanks to Tommy's untiring
It wasn't easy, believe you me.
Really?
Money problems, missed flights, the flu, you name it, total nightmare. And that was just me organizing it all.
Tell her about the Kenyans.
Stranded in Hong Kong, flight broke, until a benefactor came to their rescue.
Still no idea who.
We only know it was a woman. When I investigated the identity of the donor, the agent who was making the transference let slip. She wanted to remain anonymous.
Oh, all very hush-hush, eh?
Don't look at me. Don't do charity.
Then, may I ask, Mom, what exactly are you doing here?
Creating history, Mr. Sidley. Look at that map. What 3 words spring to mind?
Job well done.
Good one, Tommy.
Not enough red. I'd like to do some colouring in.
I don't quite follow.
Let's start with Namibia.
Namibia?
They've just had an election certified free and fair. No apartheid. What more could you want?
Naturally, we are thrilled with what's going on in Namibia, and we eagerly await the Independence Day in a couple of months. But at the moment, technically they are still a part of South Africa.
So their athletes can't compete because of a technicality.
We look forward to embracing them at the next Games in Victoria.
That's 4 years away. I can't wait that long.
I'm sorry, but as much as I'd love to have the Namibians this time, it's completely unrealistic.
As unrealistic as a grocer's daughter from Grantham becoming the most powerful woman in the world.
There are some miracles even the most powerful woman in the world can't perform.
How did you win your medals, Mr. Mills? The defeatist talk.
When you throw a discus, you aim for the sky, but expect to hit the ground.
You are more of a diplomat than me, Les. I just state the plain facts. Namibia, Mom, impossible.
Very well, moving on. South Africa.
South Africa?
Like facts, Mr. Sitterly? Consider these. Today is the 23rd of January. The games will last 10 days. The closing ceremony will take place on the 3rd of February. Now, Her Majesty the Queen will be here in her royal box. Now tell me, who would you like to see sitting beside her?
Oh, for pity's sake.
You insult me, Mom. You imagine I could be bought off with a bribe?
I'm not offering you the seat. I'm asking a question. Who would you like to see sitting beside her?
You have lost me.
I'll give you a clue. Someone who will enjoy the fresh air.
Sorry?
After languishing in prison for 27 years.
Mandela?
De Klerk is on the brink of releasing him.
That rumor's been flying around for months, but still nothing has happened.
And have your sources personally spoken to the South African president on the telephone?
Have you?
Being the most powerful woman in the world has its perks.
We're not supposed to be making any contact.
Shut up, Les. This changes everything. Can you feed me a date, Ma?
Well, confidentially and strictly off the record.
Wait.
Just between us.
Absolutely.
Fine.
No.
De Klerk will officially announce Mandela's freedom on the 2nd of February.
Great heavens!
One full
Tommy.
day before the closing ceremony.
Now, Tommy.
This is the scoop of a lifetime. Tommy, you stop it. Official announcement, 2nd of February. Any more juicy quotes, Ma?
I beg your pardon.
Your heavens confiscated my tape recorder, but they ignored this recording device.
Mrs. Thatcher, among Tommy's many talents, I neglected to mention...
Once a hack, always a hack.
Mr. Mills, you invited a journalist to a top-secret meeting.
I didn't think.
Clearly you're a born politician.
So Mandela will be here on the 3rd.
That rather depends on you, Mr. Sidley.
On me?
The particular day Mandela walks free is currently under negotiation. I am confident we can fast-track it so he is here for the closing ceremony. All we have to do is guarantee South Africa a place in this year's games.
South Africa?
I realise it's a little on the late side. A nominal presence will do.
But the apartheid regime is still in power.
Not for much longer. Don't you fancy putting a nail in its coffin?
It's tempting. Still, from a logistic point of view, I just can't see how it can be done.
It only takes one South African athlete. My staff have done some homework for you.
Who's this?
Zolili Yoa, multiple national champion in 10,000 metres and half a marathon, would have been a genuine medals prospect in the 1988 Olympics in Seoul, if only he'd been allowed to compete.
I've met your Lily. He is a fine young man.
Does he not deserve a chance?
Tommy, what would the Nigerians say?
Whose side are you on, Mr. Mills?
I'm thinking about the games. I want to hold on to the countries we've got.
Shall we leave it to the voice of African sport?
I may have exaggerated a little there. I will have to consult my colleagues.
Well ahead of you, private telephone in the next room.
I'll make a few calls, but I can't promise anything.
No pressure, but the 10,000 metre race is on Saturday.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Consider it your political initiation.
I'm more at home with sports than politics.
For the true aficionado, politics is sport. Tip number 1, always ensure you have plenty of ammunition. A handbag helps.
I'll carry one. People would say I looked effeminate.
No one has ever dared make that comment about me. Tip number 2, time and wait for no woman. Here comes our second guest right on schedule.
I've always been terribly, terribly ticklish.
Bah!
Lovely to see you again, Maggie. Mwah, mwah.
So pleased you could make it.
Do you like my disguise? I'm a tourist. What a hoot!
Let me introduce you to the game's village mayor, Mr. Les Mills.
Les Mills, 4-time Olympic champion. I'm a mad sports nut.
Good day.
I tried to bring in some homemade baking, but it wasn't allowed into the country.
We've got a unique environment here. Needs protecting.
Uh-huh. Your friendly customs officials explained how dangerous my muffins are. Didn't stop them from eating them, though.
And you hope my security men went too rough with you just now?
Not at all. Your security men insisted on frisking my security man, and mine frisked yours back. Oh, such fun! Though, us Republicans aren't supposed to approve of that sort of thing.
Mrs. Bush.
Please, call me Bar.
I see you're still not dying.
Nope, still keeping alive. How's Dennis?
Oh, you know him. Never changes.
Well, that's what you get for marrying beneath you.
I did not marry beneath me. He was a millionaire. I was a chemist.
I mean intellectually. Hardly your equal there, is he?
That would be asking too much of any man.
I went down the other track. I married down socially, but up intellectually. My family just rolled their eyes when they heard I was throwing myself away on a soldier, but I recognized my George for what he is. Genius.
Let's move on to business.
Kennedys and Roosevelts, they're a dime a dozen, but amongst the U.S. presidents, there'll only ever be one George Bush.
How long have you been in the White House now?
A year to the day this week.
The honeymoon period must be drawing to a close. Popularity starting to dwindle.
People can be so ungrateful.
You need a fault for this.
A what?
Small war, military victory does wonders.
Well, we've been looking around.
What is it? It's a rogue country to launch an unprovoked attack on an unsuspecting underdog.
Oh, you were lucky with Argentina in '82.
Lucky? Have you forgotten tip number 2, Mr. Mills?
Timing waits for no woman.
Precisely.
Now, we can't make a foreign tyrant invade a neighbor.
Your CIA has a lot to learn. Never mind. If you can't have war, how about peace? That can work too.
Peace?
For example, between your nation and mine.
Oh, what do you mean? We're already at peace.
Oh, not fully. Hostilities ceased 200 years ago. We've never had a genuine reconciliation.
We fought 2 world wars, side by side.
As allies, yes, but that is such a cold, business-like relationship. It lacks the warmth of the word Commonwealth.
Oh,
Maggie, what are you up to?
Your athletes are in a constant state of readiness. Get them over here pronto. First event is on Thursday.
Don't be ridiculous. We're not eligible.
You can be if you wish. I've been looking at your declaration of independence.
Is she joking?
probably not.
Let me see here. The document makes some valid points, but it's all about George III. He has refused, he has forbidden, he
Dreadful
has
man. A discredit to his name.
As a plea of mitigation, he had mental issues. And he died way back in 1820. Can we not let bygones be bygones?
What am I to do, Les? An old friend rings me, tells me that she's desperate for my help. I owe her a big favor. So I drop everything and fly down here in the spirit of adventure and excitement. And now, she asks me to sell out my country like a two-bit Benedict Arnold.
Don't exaggerate, Bob. When the U.S. joins the Commonwealth, your George will still be president, you will still be first lady. All you have to do is acknowledge Queen Elizabeth as our sovereign. If the most powerful woman in the world can do it, surely the second most powerful.
I don't have any power.
Now, Bob, we both know better than that. Remember that business with Ronnie Reagan? Didn't fancy your George as a running mate, did he? So you approached me, and I had a quiet word with Ronnie, and looked away
Would anyone like a cup of tea?
Tip number 3, Mr. Mills. Once you have thrown your boomerang, wait quietly.
I do enjoy my visits to Buckingham Palace. Her Majesty always treats George with due respect. Not everyone does.
So that's not true.
There's something to be said for pomp and pageantry. Denying our people is un-American. Maggie, I haven't the foggiest idea how this will work constitutionally.
Iron out the details later. All you have to do is cajole George into getting your team over here.
I can manage that.
Would you like to do the honours?
The GOP will love this.
The American people say.
They'll have a choice. The Republican Monarchy Party or the Democratic Monarchy Party.
You came prepared to celebrate.
The Yanks may knock the English off the top of the medals table, but imperialism trumps patriotism.
Oh, Tommy, how'd you get on?
The Nigerians are conferring. They'll get back to me.
Introduction. Mrs. Barbara Bush, First Lady of our latest Commonwealth country. Mr. Thomas Sidley, Olympic Committee of Rhodesia.
Don't you mean Zimbabwe?
If you want to be revisionist.
I'm already a revolutionary, repealing the revolution.
Delighted to make your acquaintance, your ladyship. Any chance of that?
Maybe later.
Down, Tommy.
I'll be staying on for a few days. I can't miss seeing your Kenyans run. Oh, superb athletes. With their weight in gold medals.
Oh.
Let me say something about the Conservative Party. Don't forget Alaska Bar. We have no desire to conserve everything, only the decent bits. And why? Change is sweeping the nation and Puerto Rico, ridding us of the blight and your Virgin Islands.
I will unify them with yours.
2 months ago, the Berlin Wall toppled, setting off a chain reaction throughout Eastern Europe and Guam.
Guam.
The communist states will fall like dominoes. Gorbachev can see the writing on what's left of the wall.
Lovely man.
For red.
Red is the colour of the Commonwealth.
How fortuitously convenient. It will make the transition so much easier for the new countries when they join us.
You were
And
saying,
France, Bob.
join us?
France.
They owe you for D-Day, and Britain has had a legitimate claim since the 100 Years' War.
Maybe we should join.
Probably not.
Here, let me.
You were saying join us.
The Soviet Union is about to break up into a dozen new states. They will flounder with infighting, or they will self-destruct with infighting, unless they look for the obvious solution. Membership of Britannia's benevolent Commonwealth.
Oh, tell me I'm dreaming, Bob.
Probably not.
Only we can provide stability and peace.
Highly dubious speculation.
You mark my words, the domino effect won't stop in Europe. Oh, mustn't forget Yugoslavia. All the communist countries will fall, one by one. China, Mongolia, New Zealand, Australia, Cuba.
New Zealand and Australia are not communist.
You'll have Labour government.
That's it, Maggie. I've changed my mind.
Too late. Dabbling. Now, oh, no, hang on. Oh,
Have you finally seen sense?
no.
No, not South America. That's our sphere of influence.
We trounced Argentina fair and square.
Maggie, you've gone too far.
So have.
Oh, God.
Now this is Brazil. Oh, Alan for a penny.
What's wrong with that?
I think she's descended from George III.
Listen, did either of you tell anyone else about this meeting?
No.
No.
So nobody else knows we were here?